Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Punaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadidamastu Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Namaste and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Alexandra Savithri, Director of the American Reiki Academy and the Vedic Healing Center. I'm a Reiki master, Vedic healing master, feng shui teacher, and spiritual life coach. I've taught spiritual self-development for more than 30 years, led pilgrimages to India, and studied with Indian gurus. In this show, we cover topics related to metaphysics, Reiki, Vedic healing, feng shui, yoga, and spiritual growth. The aim of this show is to help you create a successful spiritual practice that enhances your life, bringing you happiness, well-being, peace, and productivity, so you may become the best version of you. Welcome to today's episode, which is entitled, What If? Today I'd like to offer you an experiential, abbreviated podcast. And by this I mean, today we will work with a spiritual concept instead of just discussing a concept. And the podcast is an abbreviated version because it will be offered regularly in addition to the longer weekly episodes that are released on Tuesdays. So the plan is to release these shorter episodes probably on a Thursday, but keep checking back. And today we are going to briefly look at the phrase, what if, and then I'm going to offer a guided exercise. It's not really a meditation because you can do it if you like with your eyes closed, certainly, but also you can do this exercise with your eyes open if you are multitasking, if you are moving about your day and washing dishes or doing laundry or riding your bike, whatever it is you might be doing, driving. So today, let us look at this phrase, what if? One of the ways spiritual growth works is through introspection. And there is a great deal of negativity in our lives, which sometimes comes from outside forces. So this causes sometimes the introspection. However, much of the negative experiences or energies that happen in our lives actually come from inside us. Sorry to say, but this is true. Much of the negativity comes from within, and it might come in the way of negative thoughts, negative emotions, negative self-talk. I believe in the last podcast, I may have talked about the being as being like a computer. So your being is like a computer. It is registering and taking in all sorts of input. And this might be from this lifetime or from past lifetimes. And then we process and deal with this information and these experiences. So don't worry so much about where these things come from. Your challenge as a spiritual seeker is to move beyond these negative conditions. And one of the conditions that is so prevalent is the negative self-talk we use on a daily basis. It's used really to protect us. It is the ego protecting us from looking foolish. However, it is a challenge for all of us to move beyond this negative self-talk, and it is something that we really must attempt to do in order to make any progress as beings. So today, I'm briefly going to look at the phrase, what if, because this is one of the most prevalent ways we use negative self-talk. I'll give you some examples, some small examples. What if my car breaks down while I'm driving from point A to point B? What if my husband gets fired? Maybe he's having trouble at work and he comes home and talks to you about it, and then you have that thought. What if I can't accomplish this project that I'm working really diligently on? And you can hear also how my voice changes because I move into that emotion of angst and worry. Okay, some bigger issues we might use this with. What if I can never achieve the amount of success that I want to? What if I can never find true love? That's a sad one. What if my health is going downhill and there's just nothing I can do about it? That's a depressing one. Well, the mind is so powerful, but that's a good and a bad thing because we are in control of our minds. Only you are in control of your mind. Only I am in control of my mind. So we harness that control through our spiritual practice, through our meditation, through our yoga, through our chanting, through the healing arts, many ways. The destination is the same. It is to calm this monkey mind, this mind that jumps from one thought to another, and thoughts that are often really not advantageous for us. I remember once Guruji said to me, "Why worry about dead yesterday and unborn tomorrow if today you can be joyful? Live in the here and the now." The reason this phrase relates, and the reason I thought of it, is because your spiritual practice gets you to the now. And in the now, in present time, that is where we access freedom from everything that ails us, and especially from those negative thoughts, which can really debilitate us. It has been said, and I find this very fascinating, and I say this when I teach mantra classes in the Vedic healing curriculum, you cannot worry and chant at the same time. I have definitely witnessed this. What will happen is when you get deep into your chanting, you may have thoughts come and go, but your mind does not interpret them as worrisome. Instead, the thought comes up and you get diverted back to the mantra. And that mantra soothes that thought. And eventually everything just becomes the mantra. So that's for another episode. But the point is, the spiritual practice puts you in the now. And in the now, in the present time, is where we have bliss, where we experience peace. So today we're going to look at the what if phrase and we're going to change it around. This is sort of like working with a mantra, and a mantra is a kind of affirmation, although they're not the same exactly, and an affirmation is a kind of mantra, you could say. It is a positive phrase that's repeated over and over, although a mantra is much, much more than an affirmation. But today we're going to take the what if phrase and turn that into something that works for you, for all of us, so that next time, hopefully, when your mind says, what if something alarming, something worrisome, something scary after the what if. So the next time that happens, you're going to change it and use some of the ideas I'm giving you today. So wherever you are, sit back if you like, and you can listen to this as a little guided meditation, or if you are going about your day, you can also listen to it, and hopefully some of these phrases will bring you the peace, the solace, the happiness, and the contentment that we all deserve. What if everything is as it should be? What if all is perfect at all times? What if everyone in my life is exactly where they should be? What if all the animals and all the people around me are having the experiences they need to? What if all I need to do is be of service? What if my spiritual practice gives me the solace I need to handle everything that comes my way? What if my life is truly beautiful? What if my life is a canvas upon which I create? What if the creations are up to me and every morning I start anew? What if there are magical surprises waiting for me every day? What if all the negative self-talk gets transmuted into positive self-talk? What if my body, my personality, my choices are all perfect, divinely guided by who I am in every moment? What if I'm learning every day, so I'm more easy with myself? What if I choose to see the good in everyone around me? What if I substitute unproductive internal chatter for sacred sound? What if that one big problem in my life is actually not a problem, but a grand opportunity for growth and expansion? What if I get up every day and I do a spiritual practice? What if I go to my yoga mat, no matter how I feel, and I move through my asanas, feeling my body becoming stronger, more flexible, more balanced? What if I go early morning to my meditation space and I do my prayers, rituals, chanting, reading, journaling, in an attempt to connect with the divine? What if I set my day up for happiness by connecting with the divine energy in whatever ways I have created? What if I remain open to all the universe has to offer me throughout the entire day, accepting everything as being perfect? What if I have the strength to handle whatever comes my way because the serenity I generate within sustains me through everything? What if every time I feel as if I'm going to start worrying, I say instead, "Thank you, mind, for sharing your fears, but I choose to focus on possibility"? What if, just what if, the divine is ready to lead me to everything I desire, and all that is required of me is to connect more deeply and more regularly with Spirit? What if all is well in this moment? What if all is well in the next moment? And what if all is well always? What if I end every night in gratitude, saying thank you to the divine for the experience of my life? May I express more of the light within tomorrow when I wake up. Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.